from the Star City and beyond.
Welcome to the Roanoke Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, the Fraser Hughes Experience licensed realtor here in the state of Virginia, and we're broadcasting from the Star City, Roanoke, and beyond. And we're going to cover real estate topics, and we're going to cover real estate in southwestern Virginia, Roanoke County, Salem, Blue Ridge, Smith Mountain Lake, Rocky Mount, Buchanan, Covington, up to Blacksburg, and beyond. All right, we're going to bring on special guests. We're going to talk about what it's going to take for you to sell a home, buy a home, all of your needs, inspectors, you name it. We're going to cover it, and I'm going to have on special guests. I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to be here with you, and this is definitely not my first rodeo. You know, I got my start in radio in 1996. I've been on 7 radio stations as an on-air personality, much of it music, but then I was the host of a morning show. I've been on a couple of those as well, but got started in Atlanta. I thought, hey, you know what, I'm going to blow up and be big, and I'll be on radio for the rest of my life. But little did I know, a divorce kept me here in Roanoke because I definitely wanted to stay closer to my children. And what a journey it's been, and now I'm in real estate. This is completely wild. What a cool thing. And you know, I want to thank also to all the great folks in my agency for helping me, especially Wayne Daniels, who definitely he got me rocking and rolling over at Keller Williams. But I'm also going to talk to agents and interview agents that aren't not just with my broker, and to get their feedback, to get their experience, to get their advice, and to talk about what's going on here in the market. And what a crazy time it is. You know, just last night, I love Brett Watts on Channel 7. He had a tornado warning, and he was, you know, posting it on his Instagram, and he said, "Hey, watch out! You know, there's a possible tornado coming through the area." And this guy's just really entertaining. He Brent Watts is what's up Brent on Twitter is where you can find him also too, and he's on Instagram. So he's saying that, hey, there's a possible tornado watch for the area coming through, and I'm thinking, you know what, I've got a sound machine on at night, so I can't hear if a tornado comes through at night. But that's what the coronavirus has done to us, and how it's affected us. A tornado has brought our lives to a screeching halt, because if you think about it, we were just sitting there trotting along. All of a sudden you hear, hey, there's this coronavirus coming about. It's in China. People are struggling. And then boom, everything stops. Your gym closes. And then all of a sudden your job closes and you have to go home. And then all of a sudden your job says, hey, you know what? We're cutting back. And then all of a sudden, I mean, these things are very stressful. Then you're at home with your entire family. And the one wild thing about this is there are some people that probably should be quarantined for the rest of their lives. We're not talking about jail, but hey, you can go away. We don't want to deal with you anymore. But in all seriousness, our lives have changed dramatically. And, you know, I just think it's wild. I am honestly trying not to watch the news and trying to think positive and be very positive about this. And I know that the governor put this order out, hey, we're going to shut down until a certain amount of time. I'm thinking, hey, maybe things will open back up sooner. But the more I don't watch the news, the better life is. You don't know. It's kind of like when I was running my first marathon, I had no idea. I had no clue how difficult it was going to be. So you don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, you do have to be educated and know what's going on. But how wild is it that now homes, when it comes to showing a home, we're going to do it virtually? And you can also go and look at a home if you want to. You just want to make sure you have all the bases covered and that your realtor is talking to the seller. If it's not occupied, it's better, but making sure that you're safe and you're clean and you're healthy and putting on a mask. And, you know, it's like now it's almost like everybody's got a mask if you go into the store. I mean, they've got lines of tape marking 6 feet apart. I mean, the people at checkout, there's a big, there's plexiglass up now that just popped up overnight so you don't get germs. The people working there wear masks. I almost feel obligated to wear a mask and like it's the right thing to do. But I know this thing is going to pass, and I know when we come out on the other end of it, great things are going to happen. And great things are going to happen for the housing industry. And I don't want you to be scared to sell or list your house, because those of you that have been planning to purchase a house, it's going to go ahead and happen. There's no reason to hold off purchasing a home, unless, of course, maybe you've lost your job, and that goes into factor of that plays in the factor of you getting a house. You got to have a job, right, to get a house. That's what the bank has told you, and then all of a sudden things change. But this is going to be, this is temporary, and things are going to open back up, and everybody's going to go back to work, and we're just going to breathe a big old sigh of relief. Follow me on Instagram at Hughes or Lose, Facebook, The Fraser Hughes Experience. That's with the Z. So, interesting article came out. I'm going to go over all the positives today, okay? Great news if you're looking to buy or sell. This is on my page, The Fraser Hughes Experience Realtor on Facebook. According to Yahoo Finance, when the coronavirus is over, and Yahoo Finance is a very credible source, the stigma associated with home or days on the market as relates to home sales is soon to be a thing of the past. The real estate market has definitely changed a little bit. Virginia is doing really well. If you look at the trends here and look at the maps, Virginia is still doing very well in real estate. But it doesn't stop real estate lending, and it does not stop the fact that people are selling their homes. In fact, they say in this article that as soon as this virus is over, as soon as it slows down, the housing market is going to be the hottest that it has ever been. And here's my prediction, and here's what's going to happen, okay? This coronavirus is going to dissipate, and home sales are going to boom. And there's probably going to be a shortage, as there is right now, and the economy is going to pick back up. And this is not going to be just a slump. It's going to be like a rocket, which is exactly on my license plate, okay? That is my prediction, and it's going to happen in less than 2 months, okay? Because we can't live like this anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there to the universe with all my positivity, and I know you can too, that things are going to change and it's going to work out for us, okay? The other thing to take into consideration too is that if you just take a look at the market right now here in our area, down the street from me is a ranch. It was about $225,000, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, hardwood floors, nice area, great neighborhood, goes on the market, right? And it stays on the market for less than a week. Then over in Hollins, this is where my other son lives. I was taking him home the other day. I was like, hey, that house was just on the market a week ago. Gone. So if you've got a good product, you've got a good neighborhood, you got a clean house, it is going to move. It's not going to not sell. Okay. In fact, if you take a look over here the past few days in the city of Roanoke, and this is just 3 days. Hold on, let me scrap that. Not the city of Roanoke, but southwestern Virginia and beyond. In just 3 days, 36 brand new listings. Okay. 16 houses sold in 3 days. 57 right now are pending. Okay, so the coronavirus ain't stopping us now. Okay, you'll see that on my most recent sale. It did not stop my lady who was on, my customer, my client who was on oxygen, from going in and signing her paperwork because she needed to sell the house. Now, she could have done it virtually. But if you want to look at a house, you can do the virtual home tour. You can go there, put on a mask, make sure you're in good health, and go look at the house. Live your life, okay? Make sure you're in good health. I'll walk in there with you. And if you're a little nervous ahead of time, you really like the house, I'll shoot you a customized video. You tell me exactly what you want to see. We'll do Facebook Live. I'll stay in the room for an hour and a half. A 1-bedroom or a kitchen. You get the point, just to make sure you're feeling comfortable. Put on some masks, make sure the house is sanitized and everybody's feeling good and healthy, and let's rock and roll. I can understand if you're a little nervous or a little hesitant. No problem. So 36 brand new listings in 3 days, and this trend has not backed off. It was the same last week, if not more. this week. So 36 new listings, 57. Let's say that again. 57 homes pending. That means 57 that are about to close. Now, will all of them close? There might be a few that fall through the cracks right there. 57 pending. Okay, 1 withdrawn. Okay, and 5 were canceled. Withdrawn or canceled could be a number of things. Maybe they couldn't find a house to live in. Maybe they didn't get the price that they wanted. But wow, that's pretty impressive. So 36 new listings in 3 days, and then the trend is just going up and up. And then you've got coming soon, which is for realtors only to be able to tell their clients, hey, there's one coming up here. The rest of the public can't see it. It's coming up here on X Street. So that's really 38 new listings. And this starts in Roanoke. This goes up to let's see here, Benton Mountain, Salem, just cover Moneta, covering all of southwestern Virginia, Floyd, and even diving into Lynchburg as well, which we'll cover too. So the market hasn't slowed down, and neither should you when it comes to list your home. Just like the Yahoo Finance article says, the real estate will boom once the coronavirus threat is gone. Go ahead and put your house on the market. And if people are looking at homes more than ever, they're doing it right now because they have more time on their hands and they're sitting at home. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is my experience as a realtor selling my own home, which is actually my wife's home, and buying my home. And not all realtors can say that they sold their own home and purchased a house. I promise you that. So the market is strong, and it's only going to get stronger. But the crazy part is having to sit here and just work through this different lifestyle that we're not used to living in. But if you exercise and your gym's closed, I'm sure you've had to do something a little bit different. Home workouts, I think, get a little old, unless that's what you do all the time. Some folks from my gym all got together as a group, and we all work out in the mornings. We stay 60 feet apart. I'm kidding. We stay about 6 feet apart, and we're very aware of what's going on. We're all healthy. If one of us isn't feeling good, we don't go. I want to thank the great folks at Downshift Bicycles, downtown Roanoke. Have you heard of these guys? Downshift Bikes and Brews. So you can go in there, get a cup of coffee, and also talk about your bike or get it worked on. They came to my house. They've got a shuttle van and picked up my road bike, which I hadn't ridden in like over a year and a half because I was taking cycle class at the gym, tuned it up and brought it back. So I'm on the road, I'm acclimating. I'm going to make this work. It's not the land, it's the man. And you can too. Just think optimistically, all right? So let's talk about, as we're broadcasting here from my home, working from home, the Fraser Hughes Experience. This is the Roanoke Real Estate Podcast. On Instagram, Hughes or Lose, the Fraser Hughes Experience on Facebook. Let's talk about buying your home and selling your home. Well, recently I was a realtor. For selling my wife's house, I was the realtor. Recently I was a realtor. I'm still a realtor. And then I was the agent for buying our new home. And this was a very stressful process. And, why was it stressful? Well, a lot of emotions come into play. Especially when you look at a home and you've been, wanting a home for a while, and you're a couple and your wife says, well, that room could be where blank goes. Hey, the baby could be here, and all of a sudden you begin to take ownership of this house. This is a good thing, too, for you if you're a seller. You definitely want them to latch on to it. Also, it's good for you if you're a seller right now because the market's still going to demand a good price, just like I mentioned here at the beginning of the show. But, we were looking at a home, and a few different scenarios come into play here when you go to purchase a house. The best scenario for you, and the easiest one is going to be if you don't have a home for sale. Say you've got an apartment or a townhouse, or you're moving from somewhere and you don't have another house on your shoulders that you have to sell in order to purchase your next home, because it's just one boom transaction, right? The other part is that when it comes to selling your home is that, it could be contingent. You may have to sell your home and use the proceeds from that home in order to purchase your next house. And this can be stressful too, because you go and find the house that you really like, but you haven't sold yours yet. Yeah, and you've got to also make sure